Hi everyone, welcome back to the Peach&Wine podcast. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome. Welcome back to the Peach and Wine podcast. This is Ray for you today. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to share some thoughts with you, and I'm happy to be up and recording. And yes, let's address the elephant in the room because, as you can hear, I am by myself. Peach is not with me, which took me quite some time to figure out if I wanted to do it by myself or if I wanted to find a replacement because we've had some difficulties with schedules and personal issues. So for now, it's going to just be me, and I don't know until when it's going to be just me. I will probably find somebody, but I was so excited to do this episode by myself because I haven't really expressed myself in a setting where it's just me and my thought, the way I think. And I think, which also was kind of, it's also kind of weird because Peach and I, we used to pretty much all the time share the same point of views. So yeah, I'm excited to share with you what I have today because it's a topic that I really wanted to talk about for a long time. And I have talked about it with some people, and I really wanted to just bring it out to you guys. And I figured, okay, this first episode by myself could be the good start for me to do that. So, without further ado, let's get into the juicy part. Well, today I would like to talk about abortion. It is a topic that I feel has been pretty controversial within the past few years, but there is always going to be people who have different ideas and different point of views and who are going to see the world differently than what we can see and what we can experience. So this is mainly why it's a controversial topic, but it shouldn't be for one reason, to my understanding. Again, I want to mention that everything that I will be saying today, I am responsible of it. This is what I think people should know about it. So, what is my intake in abortion? Of course, I'm 100% against abortion. And every time that I say that to people, I always get this look of how can you say that? And why would you say that? And people have excuses and reasons why they don't want to have kids. And most of the time, it's the same excuses that comes back. It will either be people will tell me first they are okay with abortion because for some period of time it's not considered a human. And for them, it's okay to do so. And for other people, it's what if she or he was not ready to have kids? It's better to just abort a child rather than having this kid come to life and then being miserable or being in an unhealthy relationship with the parents. And to all that, I just call BS because for the first point, to me, the minute the egg is fertilized, it is already a human. It's a human who's being formed. It's something that is going to grow into a baby. It's already a baby. There's no, oh, it's just a larva or whatever. It is a baby. This is how all of us started. And to just have the pretension to say, oh, because it's just an egg, it's okay to just remove it. And I dare you to go watch a video of how abortions are performed. And I think you would, if you have a little bit of sensitivity in you, you will be disgusted by the way this thing is done. You will be horrified that they can just do that to a human, because to me it's a human. And I do not get why people would just go on record and say, yeah, because it's that small, so it doesn't deserve to leave. And I also think it goes from your belief and from what you've been raised by, the values that you have. Because me, I'm a Christian and I've been raised in the Catholic household. My grandma is Catholic, my mom is Catholic, and I looked for myself because I didn't just want to become a Christian without knowing about my religion, without developing a relationship with God. So I have my own journey that I'm still going through and I'm still learning a lot. But I think when you have some sort of belief, you can tell and you know what is wrong and what is right from what you've been taught and from the way you've been raised. Because it's easy to just say it's not a human being, it's just a thing that I can get rid of. But if you had this belief, you would know that as soon as the creation happens, it is already a human, and it is a sin to kill another human being. Now, I also often get that excuse of my body, my choice. This is one of the things that I really, really, really do not like. I really don't like that phrase with my whole being, because this, okay, I might sound insensitive. I don't know for about how you guys are gonna take it, but for me it's so selfish. It is so selfish to say it's my body, my choice. We have to remember that when you create a human being, when you decide to go and have sexual intercourse with somebody, you are two people. It's not just your body, your choice. You are two people. And I feel like for the longest time, men have been silenced so much. Because, okay, today they said the decision cannot be made by, for example, in the United States, the decisions cannot be made by men, or the decision can only affect the woman. And no, I do not agree with that, because at the end of the day, we never ask the question to the men. We never ask the person involved, do you want to be a father? Do you want to be a part of this child life? Do you want to do something? Or at the end, even when that happens, like when an abortion happens, I know that physically it's hard for the woman, but nobody ever cares about what the man feels. Like, is he okay with the fact that he just lost a possible child? Is he okay with the fact that a decision was made without no concern for his feelings? And I think overall we do not talk a lot about men's feelings, about what they would want, and even the afterwards, like how do they feel, how is everything going for them, because most of the time all the attention is focused on the woman, focus on her physical health, focus on her mental health, which is great because it's something very important. Although I still stand by the fact that this is a very selfish decision, but I also acknowledge that when you make that decision, it must not be easy, at least physically. I don't know about mentally for everybody, but at least physically, it is something that is not easy to deal with. And so it's something that I would really want people to talk about, that I would really want people to acknowledge, and I would really want people to take into consideration every time we're talking about the topic of abortion. So saying that the decision cannot be made by men, it's so nonsense. Because why wouldn't they have a voice? Why wouldn't they have something to say about something that they are part of? Because you don't create by yourself. You don't get pregnant by yourself. You don't have a baby by yourself. So why should you be the only one to make the decision on whether or not you can have the baby? Now, I'm not talking about those men who are fully supportive of that, or instigating the abortion. I'm talking about the ones that nobody talks about, the one that nobody thinks about, the ones who actually wants to be fathers, but who just have to adapt with whatever the woman chooses. I'm talking about the ones who want to have that experience, and also who go through the heartbreak of losing a child that they possibly wanted, but now they can't have because of someone else's selfish decision. And sure, you're going to tell me that it's not going to happen. He can still have kids. He can still have kids with somebody else or with that same woman. But why shouldn't he have the option to have other kids or have this one? because you are not by yourself. So it is really something that I would really encourage people to talk about, and especially men, to just start speaking up about things that they feel they've been left aside. And I know the road is it's going to be a long road because men are naturally wired into thinking that they can't show emotions, they can't show weakness, which is good because that's what we want in a man. We don't want a man who whines all the time. We don't want a man who is basically the girl in the relationship. But we also don't want somebody who's insensitive. We want, because we all know deep down that men have feelings and they express it in a different way, or they deal with it in a different way than we do. But it's also good for them to feel vulnerable from time to time. And they can't if they're with the wrong person. They can't if they are constantly being judged or constantly being compared with somebody else. So I really would like for that to change, but the road is still long. Then I would like to talk about the next answer that people give me. So I've had that friend that I spoke to, and we were talking about that topic, and she told me something. She was like, but Ray, what if the person pregnant is actually a child who does not really fully understand the gravity or of what they did? And the answer that I always have to give to people with that question is, if you are a child, why aren't you just a child? If you decide to go and have sexual encounters with somebody, you should know that you are going to get pregnant if you do not protect yourself, if you don't use any contraception. That's going to happen. And I'm pretty sure we all learned that at school. Even if you say, oh, my parents were so strict, they didn't tell me anything. I'm pretty sure we learn about reproductive systems and all in school. So this is not it's an excuse valid enough for me. Because if you believe that this is a child who's having a kid who's not ready to have a kid, so I'm gonna let them have an abortion so they can live their life. No, if they were kids, they would have done what every other kid does. They would be in their room studying or doing whatever kids are doing. If they want to do grown up stuff, they have to learn how to be grown ups. You can't fix your kids' mistakes all the time, because today you're going to give them the perception of aborting a child is okay. And I know so many girls, just within not my friend group, but like the people that I know, so many girls who've done so many abortions just because they thought it was okay to just do that because they were quote unquote not ready. If you're not ready, like, this is also something that just, I don't know, it just gets me set. Because what do you mean? What do you mean by you're not ready? What do you mean by that? Because if you're not ready to be a parent, you should be either on contraceptives, protect yourself, or just don't do anything until you're married, until you're ready. It's as simple as that. Is as simple as that. I do not understand how people just think that, okay, you did what you did, and then you get pregnant, and then you can just say, oh, I wasn't ready. Oh, I'm not ready to have kids. If you're not ready to have kids, or if you don't want to be, which is also a great thing, a good thing, because I understand, I know there are people out there who just don't want to be parents. They just feel like that's not the good fit for them. They would never be parents and they don't want to be parents. And they are 100% okay with that. And they know within themselves that that's not going to happen. They go through procedures and to remove every reproductive system that they have. That again, I'm like, I'm not 100% okay with that. But at the end of the day, it's your life, it's your decision. At least you do not get to be pregnant and kill an innocent human because of your own, because you just want to be, because of your own selfishness, you know? that is something that I would never understand. Someone saying that I wasn't ready. I'm not ready to be a parent. Like, you were ready to spread your legs. I'm sorry that if what I say sounds weird. You were ready to do what you were doing, but you were not ready for the consequences. It does not make sense at all. Again, it's an unpopular opinion, but that's my opinion. That's what I think. And that's how I think about it. And there was also that other excuse that the usually the girl will be saying if she gets pregnant, she can keep a man or something like that. Okay, I also want to talk about that topic because it is mainly about women having kids with men who end up disappearing or whatever, and then they complain about all men are the same, complaining about having baby daddies. Because one thing I know, I mean, it might not be for everybody, but one thing I know with men, they will tell you if they're ready to be a parent or not. They will tell you. And women just think that they know better because a man will be, you will be in a relationship with someone. It is all about the way a person reacts. Like, it cannot be, sometimes it's not just a black and white answer where the guys could tell you, I do not want to be a father, or I don't want to have kids now. But sometimes it will be with the language, like the response that the person has towards you. Because we all have this kind of discussion when you're in a relationship. You talk about family and having kids and whatever. If you feel like that person is never engaging back when you talk about things like that, that means this man isn't ready to be a father. It doesn't matter because women are always think, oh, maybe if I get pregnant and then we're there, like in the midst of it, he's going to change his mind. He is not going to change his mind because it was pretty clear from the beginning that he did not want to be a father. And you made it happen because you wanted to be a mother. And then you're a single mother and then you complain about it. I don't know if what I say makes sense or if it still is within the topic, but it is very interesting to for women to just think that we are the center of the world. Like, every single thing should revolve around us. Yes, we are the one who are bringing life into this world. We are the one who's carrying it and doing all the hard work. I know all that. But that does not change the fact that we are not doing this alone. We are not having kids by ourselves. We shouldn't be taking we should be making selfish decisions because we think that it's only about us. It's not only about us. It's not always about us. Sometimes it's important to just stop and also think about the person in front of us. Like, how do you actually feel? And again, like I said, even after you make the decision to go through the procedure and have the baby removed, you the same way people are checking on you, they need to check on the father too, because he was also expecting to be a father. We don't know that because nobody ever take the time to ask them how they're feeling. Like, what are they feeling about it? Are they sad? Are they and then again, it's okay to feel all those feelings, sadness, anger, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we have to start including men in those kind of discussions. It's okay for men to make those decisions too, because we are in this together. It's not just a woman thing. And it's not just okay for women to say, my body, my choice. No, because it's not only about you, but it's about your partner, it's about your future child that you will either terminate or let leave. And I also ask people, like, let's just think about ourselves. What would we be if our parents didn't give us the chance to be here? If our parents didn't made that decision to stop us from coming here? Would we be where we are right now? Would we accomplish what we have accomplished? Okay, I know maybe somebody's gonna tell me, yeah, you wouldn't even know because you would not be here. But all the good things that we've experienced in life, like all the happiness and everything that came with the experience of being alive, of living, would we have that experience if our parents didn't let us have that? Why should we do the opposite? Why should we just kill human beings and calling them, not calling them human beings because we think it's just an egg, you know? So that was my take on that. And then again, like I said at the beginning, this is just what I think about. This is how I see the topic, and this is how I see it in general. And I like to think of myself as a person who is, because for the longest time people have called me a feminist, but I'm not a feminist. Like I am in some sort because I believe in equality. I believe in, like, if we have the same mental capacities we should be treated the same way, but I do not believe in being equal to men when it comes to strength and when it comes to like different aspects of life where we are clearly different and when we clearly need a man and a woman to have their positions. And I also believe in equality for everybody. I'm not just talking about women, I'm talking about men. I always try to promote putting people in the front, because sometimes we talk about women a lot because this is what society taught us. This is why what in general we have been raised to thinking that the woman is always more important than the man. But it is also very important for us, and I mean, sometimes, not sometimes, it is good for women to talk about it because men usually would not talk about it. But it's very important to really take them into consideration, to include them in what we do, even when we talk about family and all that. With the feminist movement, it's very important for us women to understand where we stand and where men stand. A strong man is very needed in society. A strong man is very important. But again, we have to be able to provide this safe space for our men to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable when they need to be vulnerable and not use it against them. Because I've read a podcast where a guy was saying that some men stopped being vulnerable around women because when they do so, when there's an argument, some women will use this against them. We have to stop doing that. That's toxic. That's very, I don't know, very manipulative. And because of that, then again, the result is like men are more guarded and don't necessarily want to feel um open, or they don't necessarily want to feel like they can express themselves easily when they're with somebody. So we need to work on that, women. Well, I tried to make that episode long because me talking by myself for like a good 20 something minutes, it's a little challenging, but I really really enjoyed having to do that episode today. It's really something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. I've been talking about it on my personal social medias for quite some years now. And I really wanted to bring that topic into the podcast and see if you guys had a different ideas and if you have a different point of view than mine. Maybe there's something that you can explain to me that will help me understand something that you feel like I don't understand, or that I genuinely just don't understand. So it would be an open discussion for everyone who is willing to give me your insight, your feedbacks. And again, I am so happy to be back. Just a reminder, you can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and I am available. This podcast is available on all platforms where you listen your podcasts to: Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music too. So do not hesitate to type the Peach and Wine podcast. We have a whole bunch of episodes that came out back when we started the podcast, and you can also listen to the new ones, the ones that I'm making here. This podcast is mainly bilingual, so for whatever French episode that you will see, there is an English version. So don't just look at the first page and then see French words and then you just freak out. No, there is an English version. Just scroll down and then you're going to find the English version. It was a pleasure to do that with you again. Hopefully, I see you in the next episode. Bye.